Hello and welcome to the Imperfect Tesla. Today we are going to talk about a somewhat polarizing topic, and if you're wondering what that is, it's basically has to do with it's car wash. Okay, just gonna get out there and say it. Car wash and Teslas, right? And I said polarizing because there's like two main school of thought when it comes to car wash and Teslas. There's the school of don't ever take it through an automated car wash, with the spinning brush and everything. Wash it at home, hand wash only, waterless car wash, and just don't, that kind of a thing. Which, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with washing at home, right? Bottom line, it all boils down to you. What is your preference? What do you care about, right? So if you care about your car, being straight up clean, like no pencils, no scratches, no nothing, then you definitely are not thinking about the automatic car washes. If you have time and you enjoy car washes and detailing, then at home hand wash is definitely what you're looking at, right? And before we continue, first I want to say is this video here is not a car wash tutorial. You're going to see clips of me washing my car, everything. That's just showing you what I do. And I'll talk about some things how I do mine. That's just my own style, right? It is not a car wash tutorial. If you have a Tesla out there, or if wondering about this, you probably definitely know how to wash a car. So I'm not gonna basically what are the different kind of car washes that are out there that people usually talk about, right? You have the automatic car washes, which are the ones where you've got like the tire tracks. So you pull in, you get your tire tracks lined up into the groove, and the thing moves your car forward. And you've got the spinning brushes, either some of them are made of fiber, some are made of nylon, which I don't know why anybody would use a nylon brush. But basically, you go through the automatic car wash and it does the car wash soap and everything, and you go up, it dries, and you're good to go, right? And it's quick. 5 minutes, you're done. But, and I've done that before too with previous cars. I've not done that with any of our Teslas, but with previous cars, yes, I did that regularly. But what's the issue with that is, especially with a Tesla, we all know about Tesla wheels and how the rims are a little bit sticking out and curb rashes, right? And speaking of curb rashes, if you have a minor curb rash and you're looking to fix, I'm going to link a video up here for you to be able to see how you can do that at home, 30 minutes, and save yourself a bunch of money and a lot of headache. But back to the curb rash with the automatic car washes. The issue with that is when you're trying to put your wheels in between that track, you risk rashing, scratching your wheels pretty bad, right? So, and even if you don't and you get it perfect, and something that we don't have in Teslas that would have been really helpful is a top-down camera. When I had my previous car, which is a Volvo XC90, it had a really, really nicely done bird's eye view 360-degree camera. So whenever I go to a car wash like that, I always go to that top-down view, and literally you can see where the tires are and the tire tracks, and you can get it lined up in there. We don't have that in Tesla. So if you're going to go through that, good luck with that, right? But say you even get it in there, and then you've got the spinning brushes. The thing with those things too is that I've noticed when I had my previous car, they don't really clean that deep that well. Like when I look under where you open up your trunk, there's still like dirt under there. The bottom of the car towards the rocker panel on the bottom, it's still pretty dirty, right? You go to the dryer, it doesn't dry my car enough. I still gotta go back out there, get a towel, and then dry again. And it's like, if you're gonna still go back and clean the car again, what's the point, right? So it doesn't clean well, and ultimately the biggest issue with those things are scratches and paint swirls. You do that enough, those brushes, those spinning things will leave paint swirls on your car. Now, the biggest reason why car wash and Teslas is a big deal is because of the Tesla paints. If you don't know, and I know from first experience, the paint is pretty thin. Like it's not thick at all. I believe they say it's water-based paint, and so or whatever it is, whatever the formula is, but the paint is it's pretty light. I was washing my car one time and I noticed some little like tiny scratch in there. And when basically it peeled off the top layer, the gray color, and I was seeing white under. And when I look at it, it's really, really tiny, very light scratch. Like I've gotten similar stuff when I had my Volvo XC90 and did not go that deep. That's the biggest issue why car wash is a big deal because people always say the paint is thin. And so you go to these car washes, the chances that you're going to scratch your car and basically, cause an issue to your car, it's pretty high. Another thing too is the chemicals that they use. Like a lot of times people have posted to where the black trim that goes around the doors, when you go through those automatic car wash and you come out, they have this rainbow like luster to it. And people have always wondered, they clean it, it doesn't come off. What do you do? And there's different suggestions, WD-40, brake cord or something. It's just like so much extra that I have to do to undo the damage being caused by those things. So, but again, if that's what you have time for and you don't care about paint swirls or, go for it. And I get it. It's just a car. There's no need to spend all the extra time. It's just a car. It's not an appreciating asset except, when there's a demand or shortage and prices skyrocket, right? But as you can see also, prices can go up and then also come down like that in a day from this past, couple months. But a car is not an appreciating asset in the long run. It's a depreciating asset. So some folks don't care about, having it look pristine and, speaking spine and all that stuff. So if you just want to have a clean car and you don't really care about paint swirls, then that's fine. Right? Just know that those are some of the things that you can have. Scratch wheels, scratch paints, paint swirls, and ultimately your car is not clean enough, right? Now, you also have the touchless car washes, which is basically you have a car wash bay. You can drive into it and there's you put your money in it and you've got a little, brush wand and a pressure washer thing that sprays the soap, sprays the wax and everything, and you can just wash your own self. Now, that's better than the automatic car washes because in this case, you're not dealing with the spinning brushes and you also have more control as to what you're doing. However, with that too, I'll say be careful because those brushes, if they're not properly clean and they have sand, grit or dirt in them and you're using it on your car, you can also scratch your car that way. And some people will probably just use those same brushes to wash the wheels from, previous car washes. They wash the wheels and you just go there, you grab it and you just go in your car. You might also scratch your wheels that way unless you're using just a water pot. And you just make it like a brushless car wash. But, ultimately, like I said, better than automatic car wash. Does it take you longer? Yes. Does it have more labor because you got to do washing and the drying? Yes. But again, if you live in an apartment or you don't have a way to wash cars yourself or something, that's an option that you could go for. Now, the ultimate, always been said as the best option is washing your car at home yourself. Now, with that too, there's different kinds. The one that I'm curious about, that I've not tried myself, but I've heard a lot of, is the waterless car wash. And call me old school or old fashioned or whatever, but I don't know how you can wash a car without water. You spray the liquid on it, you let it sit, and then you just come and you wipe it down. And I'm like, okay. I do have a waterless car wash that came from Drive Protected that I'm gonna try at some point. And I'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll be converted, right? But for me right now, I'm still I need some water and detergent. Now, speaking of that too, you don't have to have a pressure washer or use a pressure washer, but I do highly recommend one. And so I'm going to go through here and show you what I use at home for my car wash. All right, so I got a few things here. I'm not going to spend too much time on trying to go through what
what each one is. So I recommend get a brush for your tires. I used to use this one, and I like this. This is just like a regular sweeping brush thing from IKEA. But I like it because one, the bristles are hard enough to scrub the tires, but they're soft enough for the wheels itself. And also I can cover more room, and it goes in between the spokes of the wheels. This is nice too, but it's too thin. But I can recommend a brush for your tires. I never use my wash mate for my tires. I always use a brush, so do that. I just talked about wash mate. I have this one here. What I typically do with this is it's like a little glove. My hand goes in it, and so I get to control where I'm going. I like this because, like I said, I can get, into different areas and pay more attention to specific areas and apply pressure as needed. So I have that. I highly recommend the pressure washer. It just makes a whole lot of difference with being faster. Also, it saves you water. You may not know this, but you're probably better off using a pressure washer than just using a regular hose. With the pressure washer, one, you got more pressure that you can apply for certain areas. Like I said, to less water. I will say though, when you use a pressure washer, you don't want to get one that's like super high pressure. And even if you do, you want to make sure that your nozzles, they're not too direct onto a paint. So I try to always use like the 15-degree, the flow, not the pinpoint ones. I've got this for tire shine. I like the spray ones because I can, again, it's all about controlling the spray. And typically when I spray, I have a little foam block that I use to make it even. So I do a little spray. I use the foam block to go over, make it even, and get it all nice and covered. Now, when it comes to the car wash soap, I don't have any preference. I know Renex brand, and I've used this, probably my second gallon now since we've had our cars. This is what I use right now. I did get a bunch of car wash stuff from Drive Protected. They've got this megawatt foam soap with gloss enhancers. There is a amped all-purpose cleaner, and there is a silica infused waterless car wash. These ones I've not touched yet, so I've done, I'm not sure how it'll work. I'm gonna probably finish this here first before I get into this, but I'm looking forward to trying some of this stuff. Now, some other thing that's important, of course, you need I've got this is just my dirty towels and stuff, which in there, I've got microfiber towels. You need a few of those to dry off. Of course, a bucket. Now, I'm gonna come talk about this later, but in my bucket, I've got this. This is like a rinse / mud guard, and this goes in your bucket. And what it does is it basically helps keep the sand, everything that you're getting off of your meat, in the bottom, and you're not recontaminating your wash meat when you dip into the water or your towels. You're not picking up the sand again. This keeps the sand towards the bottom. So I got this recently. This says V Blade, and it's a silicone blade. Well, this for me, last time I used it, the first time, it was a game changer. Typically, once my car is wet, you have to use a towel to dry and all that good stuff. This will sweep the water away, and you have less drying to do. So I tried it out last time I washed, like I said, and it was a game changer, very time saving, and I also had to use less towels. So if you haven't tried that, give it a shot.
So as I was saying, you don't have to have a pressure washer, but I highly recommend it if you can, for two main reasons. One, it saves you water. The amount of water you're going to use through a pressure washer versus you using a hose, it's going to be a lot less. It saves you a lot of water. That's one. Two, that pressure it's going to help you get dirt off a lot easier, right? So trying to get the grams. So what I do is before I start washing the car, I first will go over it with a pressure washer first, spray it, rinse down, get some of the caked on stuff like the bugs and everything, get those cleaned up a little bit first. Then I use the foam do a foam rinse. I spray with the foam, let that soak for a little bit. Then I have my bucket with the grit guard in it and my glove mate, which the glove mate is very handy because when you are washing, you can direct pressure and like basically decide, okay, I want to scrub here a little bit harder, right? You can do that. With a brush, I used to use a brush before. With a brush, you can't really direct pressure to one spot. With a hand glove, you can do that. And so then I'll do that. And then once I'm done with that, I'll rinse off. I get my tire brush and I go over the tires. I do the wheels itself and then the tires itself. Get it all clean, get it between the spokes, everything. Sometimes I like to spray like a degreaser. I do use tire shine on my tires, and so once in a while I'll spray degreaser, just kind of get the, make sure nothing is being caked on it. But pretty much like I said, it helps, right? And then I showed the V-Blade, Silicone Blade, and I tell you, honestly, guys, if you don't use the squeegee or Silicone Blade, get one. If you're trying to cut your drying time, that will help you really quickly. Some folks use a blower, like a hand blower, like used for like your lawn mowing. For me, that's extra noise. I tried it before one time. It was just too much noise, for the environment, for the neighborhood, for myself. So, but with the V-Blade, just quick swipe, and you're good to go. Of course, you want to have your microfiber or camo towels available for extra drying and all that good stuff. And then I like to do a good tire shine, so I get tire shine around it too. And so one more thing too, and you see when I wash my cars, I usually do two hands. I've got my glove on one hand and I'm washing, and as I'm going over the surfaces, I'm using my other hand to run over to kind of see, okay, do I have anything that I feel that's still like stuck on there? And if I feel something, I go over there with a glove again. Now, if you're doing that, be careful if you have a ring on. So on any hand or any finger, if you have a ring on and you're using that hand to fill your cars, be careful. It's very easy to scratch your car when you have a ring on. I've done it a little bit before, and so just want to give that note to you. Just watch out with that. So again, ultimately, when it comes to car washes, I'm gonna say is do what works best for you. Not everybody has time to do car wash at home. Not everybody has that set up. Car washing at home too has a lot of stuff you have to do. If you're gonna get a pressure washer, you gotta get all of this and all of that. You gotta store them somewhere. If you don't have all that and you don't care about paint swirls, you just want to have a clean car, Touchless Car Wash, automatic car wash, go for it. Also, like I said, whatever works best for you. Maybe the waterless car wash is better for you if you want to be cognizant of avoiding paint swirls and you want to wash at home. Because ultimately, the car washing at home, for me, and I enjoy detailing cars. Like I love washing and detailing cars. It's my own little personal time, right? But for me too, that's how I find scratches. I'm looking like, oh shoot, somebody's dinging my door here, kind of a thing, right? So, and then I can know I wash my car pretty often, usually like every other week or so. So if anything happens, I can say, okay, well, that car brush wasn't there last time I washed the car, so it's happened in the past 2 weeks, right? So, and I can kind of trust my steps to see where it happened. But like I said, just be aware that Tesla paint, it's thin. It's different from a regular car paint. Now, it doesn't mean it's inferior. I'm not saying it's inferior. I'm not saying it's inferior at all. I'm just saying it's just, the setup is just different, right? And it's easily scratched. So, just be aware of that. And that really is the whole big deal about car wash. Like I said, some folks are like, no, don't you ever go through an automatic car wash. No. Some folks I'm like, whatever, it's a car. Don't care. I'm doing it. Whatever works best for you. You know your situation, it's all about you. So, if you're ever curious about it, that's the whole big deal about car washes. There's no taboo anywhere, anything. There's no rule. Just do what you want to do, however you want to do. your car, your way. Enjoy it. Love it. All right. One more note. Thank you all for everybody who, engage, subscribers, you subscribed, leave comments. I want to say, sincere thank you to you guys. If you're enjoying content and getting value from this content, don't forget to like, to share, and also subscribe. And by all means, please leave feedback. On this video, for example, right, if you have recommendations for car washes and stuff that you do or anything, drop a comment. I would love to hear. Maybe something I can change. You something in the video I'm showing, and you're like, dude, you're doing that wrong. Put a comment. I would love to hear your feedback, and hopefully somebody else can benefit from that too, and we just grow together. But as always, thank you all for being here. As always, we'll see you next time.